Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Whew, this week is jam-packed with new games, but today's episode is interesting for other reasons, and I'm very curious to see how all of you are gonna react. All right, we got new Nintendo Switch news, including a Mario surprise. We've got Monkey Ball continuing to monkey around. A new Switch game is confirmed, dated, and priced, but most importantly, Nintendo Switch OLED is missing, and we need to discuss what is going on. What is going on, guys and girls? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Make sure to smash that like button and let me know in the comments down below what you think about today's stories, especially the Switch OLED one. Let's kick it off with some Switch news bites, and this one ends up being a pretty big deal because it taps into my youth. Remember yesterday's story on the question block that appeared via LEGO social media? Well, they've popped the question, and no, I'm not getting married, but I might get married to this new LEGO product, which is a Mario 64 4-level fiasco. And I only call it a fiasco because I feel like I'm gonna have to buy it. This taps back into when I was 7 years old and just loving life, loving games, and loving Super Mario 64. And they've introduced a $170 7-inch block that features 4 levels from the game. It brings in Mario, Princess Peach, it brings in a little love from Peach's Castle, Bomb on Battlefield, Cool Cool Mountain, and Lethal Lava Trouble. They pop out of the box and it just looks darn cool. Like if I was a kid, this would be the Christmas present of the year. The way the levels just pop out and then flop back in. You can just carry that box around, you build the box, you build the levels, 2,064 pieces as a tribute to Mario 64, and one hefty price tag for mom and dad. It launches on October 1st exclusively at the LEGO store, and then it'll be coming to other retailers later. There's actually 10 minifigures in the box, including Yoshi, Chain Chomp, and a baby mama penguin, so this is gonna be pretty sweet. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan to add it to your collection. I think it'd look pretty darn awesome on my virtual shelves. My mug blends with my shirt. That was totally accidental. But Sega is purposely trying to make Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania the craziest monkey ball of our generation. All right, they have included new characters in the balls. The Game Gear, Saturn, and Dreamcast. What is going on? We got Yakuza Man, we got Persona Cat, we got freaking Hello Kitty, Sonic, Tails, and now old Sega consoles doing their dance inside of these monkey balls. Absolute bananas, but I love it, and I'm really getting geeked for this game out next month. You can also get geeked for World War Z, which has been confirmed for November 2nd. We talked about the leaked release date, and yep, now Saber Interactive has said yes, their Switch port is coming, and there's 2 versions. The base game is $40, and then the full deluxe package is $50, which includes a bunch of DLC. Unfortunately, they did not mention the Aftermath expansion in their press release. That is what's happening to all the other versions of World War Z later this month, where they are gaining first-person mode, melee weapons, new content, and 4K visuals. Now, obviously, we won't be getting 4K on the Switch, but I do hope that the new content eventually makes its way to this Switch version because given Saber's pedigree, this should be a pretty good shooter on Switch, and I'm actually looking forward to playing it. They're also introducing crossplay later this month, and if that comes alongside the Switch version, that would be fantastic, so you could play with your friends that already own the game somewhere else. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan to pick up World War Z in about 7 weeks' time. All right, buckle in. We got an important discussion to have together, and I really want to know your take, so get ready. But the Nintendo Switch OLED is out in less than a month. On October 8th, a really exciting game launches, Metroid Dread, and Nintendo and fans have talked about it many times, myself included. But something else comes out on October 8th, and that's the Nintendo Switch OLED. The new console from Nintendo that ups the price, increases the screen size, and brightens the colors. But it doesn't do a ton better, and it's currently MIA, and it seems to be fading fast because I don't hear anyone talking about launch, and it's in like 3.5 weeks. Pre-orders have been popping back up at many retailers in the UK and the US. The scalping price on eBay has shot way down. I mean, back in July, They skyrocketed to $650, sometimes even more, and now you can grab one on eBay for around $475, which is still an increase, it's still a price hike, but it's far less than before, nearly $200 drop. It seems like this system just isn't generating the buzz that Nintendo's big 2021 reveal should really warrant. But I think that's the question. Should it warrant the buzz? Did they make a big mistake? I remember back when the Switch Lite launched a few years ago that there was considerable excitement for that system. Leading up to its release on September 20th, 2019, a lot of really positive previews came out, and people were pumped to see the Switch get a more ergonomic form factor and get shrunk down to be more like a DS or a 3DS. I even went out to New York and played freaking Switch Lite on the same building where Spider-Man flew around in the original Tobey Maguire movies. It was an exciting event, and seeing the Switch in a new form factor for the first time was a big moment. This time around though, the form factor really isn't any different. Even though the bezel has been boofed and the screen size has been increased, the system itself has only changed by 0.1 inches. I think the biggest addition is a much better kickstand. But does a much better kickstand really need a $50 more expensive whole new system? And yes, the colors are more vibrant and the screen is better, but it doesn't change anything that happens once you dock it to the TV. Oh, and the dock looks a little different. They added a LAN port, but a LAN port in 2021? I mean, I think if you consider Nintendo's iterations in the past, they were taking something very imperfect and perfecting it. If you look at the original DS, that thing was a chunky chunker. It was a clunker by all accounts, and then they beautified it with the DS Lite. I mean, they did similar things as they improved upon the 3DS, the Game Boy Advance, and some may even say that the Switch Lite is the best way to play Nintendo Switch portably. Oddly, the Switch OLED once again focuses on portable play, but it's much more expensive. There's a $150 price difference between the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED, so if you're someone that just wants to play on the go, why would you ever go up that much money? I also want to attribute some of this to Nintendo themselves. I mean, look how much they've advertised the Switch OLED. Do you even know what games look like on the Switch OLED? I mean, I understand it's hard to show a comparative difference between what Breath of the Wild looks like on the OG Switch and what it looks like on the Switch OLED, but like Nintendo is not promoting this really at all. We saw the initial trailer and there were some few very dark and mysterious previews with no screenshots or imagery or videos, and then it's been radio silent. I mean, we have like 6 Metroid Dread reports and we have 0 Switch OLED reports. It's like they aren't even sure how to market or showcase this system, and it's out in 3.5 weeks. We haven't seen hardly any of it. Now, maybe they will decide to bring it back out at the supposed September Direct. That would be the perfect time, and like they better do it if they want to get people excited again. But you gotta ask yourself, if even Nintendo doesn't really know how to justify this thing, how are we as the consumers, the ones forking over the cash, supposed to justify the excitement and the purchase? Look, this is a little difficult for me to talk about because I love Nintendo and I love their iterations, and I've got my Switch OLED pre-order, and I think the white dock and the white Joy-Con look really clean, and I'm eager to see how this fall's holiday lineup looks with more vibrant colors. I think Metroid Dread is going to be perfect on this new platform, but it's just really not enough of a difference, and I think that's why it's kind of falling down in the dust. I feel like Switch OLED is going to be a total afterthought, and while all consoles will probably see shortages this holiday season, I don't know that Switch OLED is going to be missed all that much. If you already own a Switch or a Switch Lite, it seems like there's not much reason to buy a Switch OLED. And even though I have read some people that say, hey, the audio is better, the screen does pop, most people say these differences are more subtle and definitely not necessary. What void does the Switch OLED fill? Because the Switch Lite definitely did. It was more kid-centric, it was cheaper, it was more of your secondary system, but what is the Switch OLED for? Probably new players that want the high-end Switch, the best they can buy, that have extra capital and are looking to splurge. I don't know who else this is targeting. it feels sort of like the oddball, the strange stepchild for a really successful generation. And I wonder, as I have before, how much the pandemic affected Nintendo's plans to truly put out a Switch Pro. And it seems like the Switch OLED is some strange stopgap that they needed to put out because they already had made too many moves towards releasing a new system. But the Switch OLED really isn't a new system at all. It's a minor refinement that I think if it had the same price point would appeal far more to current and new consumers. If the Switch OLED replaced the $300 Switch, which it probably will eventually, I believe, that would be a different story. But coming in more expensive, closer to the PlayStation 5, which is about to have a massive showcase today, closer to the Xbox Series X, which has a Halo title releasing this holiday and a whole lot of games available in its Game Pass program, it feels like this might have been a misstep. Now, in full transparency, I still have my pre-order, and I'll still be picking this guy up on launch night. I'll still be unboxing it and looking at it, reviewing it, and sharing it with all of you, helping you decide if it really is worth it. And hey, maybe I'll be surprised and we'll find out that it actually is a step up compared to what we're expecting. But right now, I just feel very odd about the Switch OLED. I went from being insanely excited for a new Switch iteration to moderately confused on what they decided to do, to hopeful that it still would be an upgraded experience, to what is going on? With no exclusive games, no upgraded Joy-Con, and zero performance boost, the Switch OLED, it's an overly luxurious system exclusively for diehards. Get it? OLED. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel similarly about the OLED. Like, it's kind of in a weird spot, hard to justify. Maybe you're not gonna get it. And why hasn't Nintendo shown more of it? So make sure to let me know in the comments down below if you agree that the Switch OLED is in a weird spot. And I wanna hear if you've canceled your pre-order, or if you're still excited, or if you think this truly is a misstep from Nintendo. Please let me know. And yeah, I hate to invoke the name, but I think this is why we all wished it would have been a Switch Pro. Whew, that was heavy. Let's get to something a lot lighter. Today's poll question is a funny one, and it actually spawns from a conversation I had with my good friend Nintentalk, a fellow Animal Crossing YouTuber. He wanted to know if a hot dog is a sandwich, and I pondered this because my initial response was no, it ain't. But then I thought about a hamburger, and I don't know how much different a hot dog is than a hamburger. So it surprised me when 73% of you said no, a hot dog is not a sandwich. Only 27% said yes, it is. But I ask you, 73, if it's not a sandwich, what is it? Is it a snack? Is it stadium food? Is it a strange meat oddity? Because it has bread and it has meat, and I don't know how much different that is than a bun and a burger, except that the bun is split and the hot dog bun isn't, but it's still called a bun and it's still made of wheat and it still has meat tucked inside, so is it not a sandwich? I'll let you ponder that until we're back tomorrow. I love you guys so much and I appreciate you being here each and every day for all the Nintendo news and all the goodness. A lot of good games are coming out, so I'll be bringing you some coverage soon. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive, stay awesome out there. And remember, no matter how you feel or what's going on, you are awesome. There's a part of you inside that is perfect. I love you a lot. Until next time, SwitchForce out.